Hey everyone, welcome to part 8 of this Dark Urge Tactician mode guide for Baldur's Gate 3. We just created a masterwork weapon and now we're going to head back to our camp. We're going to do a couple long rests just to push through some of the character side quest stuff. At this point, do a partial rest by doing a long rest with no supplies. Don't be like me and waste 80 supplies. I'll get you a free full heal in a minute. I got the scene with the Astarion coming to us in the middle of the night trying to bite us because he's a vampire. I'm going to be nice about the whole thing and allow him to bite us just the one time. So I'm going to say fine, but not a drop more than you need. He's going to be happy about that and bite us. But then I'm going to say persuasion, that's enough. I want to stop him before he actually kills us by drinking all of our blood. We get a skill check of 5 with this, so it's pretty easy to get through that one, and he's going to be nice and happy with us and go and find some animal to kill, and he's going to leave the rest of us alone at night. So we're all set with that. He also unlocks some new abilities to be able to bite enemies, and that's going to come in handy for us later. So after that one's done, you can see that he wants to talk to us. You can talk to him if you really want to. Otherwise, we're just going to leave camp and we're going to come right back so that we can do another scene right after this. We are a little bit low on blood now and we have a little bit of a debuff on us. So we do want to get rid of that just by resting again. So we get the scene with Shadowheart and Lae'zel fighting. It doesn't really matter whose side you take in the beginning. I'm just going to take Shadowheart's side at the beginning of this, and then what we have to do is to tell them to rest, both of you. Tempers will be cooler in the morning. Then the scene will continue on from here with Shadowheart holding a dagger to Lae'zel's throat. I'm going to persuade her to stop. It does come with a skill check of 10, so we're going to roll this one and then continue on. Finally, tell Lae'zel to cooperate for her own sake, and that will end this scene. Back at camp, I'm still suffering from blood loss, so I do want to go ahead and rest. This is where you get the free full heal and you get rid of that blood loss, and every character is filled up. So you don't have to use any supplies if you do both of those scenes back to back. Well, now we're going to go ahead and leave camp and we're going to continue on with our journey. What we really want to do is to go over and we're going to open up the chest right by this cart here. This will give us the Haste Helm when we open it up. It is locked, so make sure you have a good character like Astarion who can do some lockpicking for you. When you choose to lockpick this, you do get a skill check looking for a 15, so let's roll this one and then keep going. We'll open up the chest, and inside, like I said, there's going to be the Haste Helm, as well as some other things, so let's grab all of that, and then we're going to go over to the well right next door, and we're going to use that. We will have an option to investigate and peer into the well. That is the correct choice to do here. It has a skill check of 10 on it, so let's roll that, and then what we want to do is head down into the well. Alright, so now what we're going to do is to continue along down the path toward the north, and then we're going to turn left and kind of hug that left wall. There is going to be a little tunnel that we have to run through here, and when we get to the other side, there is going to be a heavy chest on the far side of this room. So go ahead and inspect that. We're going to open that one up and grab the Spiderstep Boots and the other things inside. The Spiderstep Boots allow you to be able to walk over webs without getting enwebbed and be stuck in place. So it's good if you want to move around this area without the fear of getting trapped in place. Let's continue forward and we're going to walk toward the left. You can see that there are some enemies roaming around through here, so we're going to take it pretty cautiously and move forward until we can get into a spot where we can hopefully initiate the combat by hitting the enemy with one of our sneak attack range attacks. So just be patient and wait until you have an opportunity to go forward, and you can see there's a couple enemies over here, so let's use our attack quickly and get the advantage on them. But that phase spider isn't very happy. It's going to try to web us all up so that we can't move very much, but we have a lot of long-range weapons at our disposal, so it doesn't matter too much that we can't really move. I'm going to use another sneak attack range against this Ettercap over here. That's the one that we already attacked. It does all but one of its health, it's just hanging on a little bit, but because I'm dual wielding those hand crossbows, I can use my offhand attack to kill that guy. Well, now we have the phase spiders over here, and there is another Ettercap toward the back, so I just have to make sure that I'm positioned properly to take these guys out. I'll take Astarion and jump him up to this ledge over here so that I have a clearer shot over at that phase spider. I'm going to hit him with just a normal range attack and do some good damage against him. I did 9 damage, which is pretty good. It's about a third of his total health. The other phase spider is going to come in now and try to use a venomous discharge on us and get some easy damage and a little bit of poison. This Ettercap will once again try to just web us up, and then it's going to be Gale's turn. Now, we don't really care so much about moving Gale because we've got Magic Missile. It does tons of damage, and it doesn't miss. So I'll just throw those at the Space Spider, and it will be enough to take him down. And now that he's done, I can move him forward a little bit. I've got just enough movement speed to run him over and to use my offhand melee attack to do a little bit of damage against this other nearby phase spider. After Gale's turn, it is going to be Lae'zel's turn, so I'm going to run her forward and do just a normal main hand attack against this phase spider. Unfortunately, it misses, and I am able to use my extra attack to do some good damage, and now I can switch it over to Astarion at the beginning of the next turn, and I can use a sneak attack range to finish that enemy off. We still have the Ettercap on the other side of this area, and I don't want to overextend myself too much, so instead I'm going to let him come to me. I'll skip my turn with the Dark Urge. He's going to come down and just try to web us up again. That's okay, it doesn't really matter at all. And once again, it's going to be Gale's turn. I don't even have to move him. I'm just going to use Magic Missile, and I'm going to hit him with everything that I've got, just a level 1 spell, and that's going to do quite a bit of damage to him. It takes over half of his health away, and then I can skip it over to Lae'zel. I'll move her forward so that she can get a good shot on the enemy in the back. So let's just use a range attack, and that'll do a decent amount of damage to him. Now I should be able to finish him off with my extra attack. Unfortunately, it was a miss. So I have to switch it back over to Astarion. I can't quite get to where I need with him. I just don't have the movement speed for it. So I'm just going to skip it over to the Dark Urge. I'm going to run him right up next to Lae'zel so that we have basically the same line of sight on the enemy, and then I can just use a normal range attack to finish this guy off, and that will be the end of the fight. After the fight, let's keep going toward the west, and on the left side there's going to be a passageway that is all webbed up. We want to attack the spider web so that we can get rid of it, and that's going to provide us with a secret passage that lets us go and destroy some eggs before we get into a fight with the Spider Matriarch. Definitely a good idea to save the game at this point, just in case you screw something up. You'll be able to return to this point and then keep going. So let's go over here. There's going to be a cragged rock. What I want to do is to use Astarion, so I'm actually going to switch it over toward him, and then he is going to move down and will take care of the eggs for me. Astarion will use that cragged rock while separated from all the other party members. He's going in as a solo mission, and then we're going to go over to this other cragged rock, but don't use it because we don't want to climb down there at all and get spotted. Instead, we're just going to use a normal range attack to attack the phase spider egg. There's going to be 5 of them in a little cluster over here, just to the side of that other phase spider. Now that phase spider should not see us at all. We can go right to the edge of the cragged rock without going down, and we'll be able to hit all of the eggs in this area one after another. And then once all 5 of them have been destroyed, then we want to climb back up where we just came down, and we're going to continue on. There are 2 more sets of phase spider eggs that we want to eliminate, and that will stop the Spider Matriarch from being able to summon in extra spiders. That makes that fight a lot more difficult. So we're going to get the party back together now, and we're going to continue on over toward the north. So kind of turn left around this area, and then keep turning so you're going basically west at this point. Let's keep going through the path until we get out into this wide open area with the webbed walkways going around. I'm going to pull Astarion out away from the rest of the team and then save the game, just so in case something bad happens and we get spotted by that Spider Matriarch, we can just reload it from here. Now there's 2 sets of spider eggs in this area, and they're both illuminated by the sun. If you look to the back of this rightmost walkway, there's going to be 6 eggs that form a little shape here. 5 of them make a pentagon, and then there's 1 just off to the side that honestly looks a lot more like a rock, and I didn't really notice it at first, so you'll see me shoot the 5, and then I'll continue on from here, but I will pick up that 6th one in just a moment. Now you may be tempted to try to shoot the last group of spider eggs from a distance here. Unfortunately, you just can't do it. There's not quite enough range. So instead what we have to do is to sneak on over toward where that other set of eggs was. And I do recommend sneaking so that the spider matriarch does not see you and you can see exactly where it is looking. So I'm getting down here and I am able to take out that last phase spider egg up close, and once that's been eliminated, we're going to hide right behind this rock here. This will shield us from the spider matriarch's view, so we're just going to wait here until it looks away, and then we're going to start shooting the eggs, and it's going to be kind of straight in front of us where it's illuminated by the sunlight coming in through the hole in the roof. So it's looking away. I'm going to use the range attack and I'm going to take out one or two of these eggs, whatever you can do very quickly, and then you're going to hide right behind that rock again. So we're going to just kind of hide out right back here, and you can see we're barely out of sight for this thing, and then when it looks away we're able to pop back out and then take another shot or two. It's much better to be cautious than to try to get too greedy and take out more eggs and then be seen. So I do get a couple of them here. I can tell that the spider matriarch is turning around, and I'm going to quickly shoot that one and then hide again. And now I just have to wait for that spider matriarch to look away, and then I can take out the last egg in this area. So there's one more up there for me to shoot. I'm just going to aim at it, hit it with the range attack, and now I've eliminated all of the eggs, and that is great for us so that the spider matriarch can't call in reinforcements when the fight begins. Well, my other party members are on the way, and unfortunately Astarion does get seen even though we're hiding behind that rock. A little bit unfortunate. I would have much rather started the fight on my terms by hitting it with some sneak attack range attacks, but that's okay. We're just going to continue on from here. It is Astarion versus all of the other enemies, so the other party members are in fact still hiding. But you can see that the spider is sitting on top of this spider web, and that's actually pretty good for us because if you attack the spider web and destroy it, then the spider matriarch will fall down and take a significant amount of damage. Now there's no way that Astarion can beat all three enemies by himself, so what I'm going to do is switch on over to Lae'zel. Now she is close enough that she can use her range attack to hit that spider web underneath the spider matriarch. It will destroy the spider web, she will fall down, and she'll take a lot of damage. In fact, she takes 60 damage. The other 42 was because she landed on a skeleton down there. But yeah, 60 damage just in that one attack and by falling down. So now what I can do is to continue on with my other party members. I want to move the Dark Urge up, and I'm going to have him come around and get behind the Spider Matriarch to do another sneak attack against her. I'm going to use these knotted roots to climb down, and she's facing the wrong way. That allows me to get right up behind her, and then I'm going to use this sneak attack melee to do 18 more damage to her. So that's a pretty good attack. It wasn't a critical, that would have been really good, but it is good damage all the same. Now let's switch it over to Gale. He has a spell called Haste, and what that does is it gives us another action in combat, so I will have 2 instead of 1 plus a bonus action, and I get +2 to my armor class. So I'm going to cast that on Gale, and that will bring him into combat. I didn't get a very good initiative roll, so I do have to wait a little while until I can use him, but he is now much better both offensively and defensively. With the Astarion, I'm going to just do a normal range attack against the close by phase spider. It'll do 10 damage. I'm enwebbed, so I can't go anywhere. I'll just pass the turn, and then this phase spider will jump across the gap here, and it will use Venomous Discharge on Gale, doing quite a bit of damage to him, and the other phase spider will hop down and do the same thing, only this time to the Dark Urge, getting a critical hit. So everyone's kind of hurt right now, but that's okay. We're going to be just fine. We'll use another sneak attack melee against the phase spider matriarch. Unfortunately, that one missed, so I wasn't able to do any more damage to it, but I can use my offhand range attack to attack the already weakened phase spider to rack up a little bit more damage against him. The Face Spider Matriarch is going to hop up top and now attack Lae'zel, doing quite a bit of damage to her and also poisoning her. Now with Astarion, I can't do a whole lot with him right now for the Phase Spider, but I can reach the other little guy down below. So I'm going to attack this one, and it's going to do a small amount of damage to it, but that's better than nothing. So now I'm going to skip the rest of Asarion's turn, and it's going to be the Phase Spiders again trying to web me up and then jumping around the map. It's going up top, so it will kind of force me to play from the low ground right here. I don't really want to jump up right next to it and run into those things in melee range. But Gale can take out the enemies with Magic Missile from down below. It doesn't really matter. I don't have to have line of sight at all on these things. I'm going to start with a level 3 Magic Missile against the Face Spider Matriarch, and it's going to do 28 damage to it, so that's quite good. And then I have another action to use, so I'm going to once again use Magic Missile, this time a level 2 one. I'm going to split the damage a little bit between the Phase Spiders, and then that will take one of them out and also seriously injure the other one. I'm pretty low on health, so I'll use my bonus action just to use a potion of healing and give myself a little bit of health back. Now it's going to be Lae'zel's turn, and I need her to do some more damage against the enemy. Okay, so let's jump over the web so that we don't get stuck in it. And now, because this is technically still her first turn and she has her extra attack, I'll hit it once and then I can use another main hand attack. Miss that one, I'll use my bonus attack to miss again. Then I can use my action surge to attack it. That one actually will connect. And the follow-up misses again. So that was, what, 5 attacks and I missed 3 out of 5? That's not so good for me. I want to attack this Phase Spider up on top. I can't hit it with a range attack with a Dark Urge, but I can use a main hand attack. So all I have to do is climb back up these knotted roots, and then when I get up top, then I'll be able to attack it with just my normal main hand attack. Unfortunately, when I go to attack, it does miss the first one, but I can follow that up with my offhand attack, which will then silence this Phase Spider. Alright, that's all that I can do with the Dark Urge. I'll pass it over to the Spider Matriarch and it will miss, which is convenient for me. Now with Astarion, I want to get as close as I can, so I'm going to jump him over onto the web here. And then I do have a piece of equipment that allows me to use the Scorching Ray spell. It attacks 3 times and can do good damage, but that's only if it hits, and I miss all 3 of the attacks. That's a big bummer for me. Well, now the other Phase Spider will come down, doing some decent damage against Gale, and it's going to be Lae'zel's turn to attack the Phase Spider Matriarch and do some good damage to it. I'm at half health, so I am going to use my bonus action just to use Second Wind and get some health back, so she's in a better spot. Now it's time to use the Dark Urge to finish off that Phase Spider Matriarch. I use a sneak attack melee attack to run forward, stab it in the back, and the Phase Spider Matriarch goes down. I get 250 experience for all my party members, and I can loot the body. I get the Poisoner's Ropes, which aren't great, honestly, but we'll keep it for right now. I can't really do anything else with anyone, so I'm going to just skip the turn, and unfortunately that Phase Spider does take Gale down, but that's alright. It's now Lae'zel's turn, so I'm going to have her go forward and jump close to the enemy, and then I get my 2 attacks on this guy. So I'll take a swing the first time, and it's a giant miss, but the second time does connect, leaving the enemy with only 2 HP. Now it's the Dark Urge's turn. What I want to do is to pick up Gale, so I am able to jump down here without taking any damage at all, and then I can pick Gale up off the ground. Unfortunately, that did use up both my normal action and bonus action, so I have to pass the turn over to Astarion. He can move forward, but it doesn't really matter. I can't hit the enemy from this range anyway, so I will have to skip the rest of my turn and give it over to that Phase Spider. The Phase Spider will attack Lae'zel, doing some more damage, and then teleport over here before running just out of sight. With Gale, because he got up off the ground, he can't do anything, so I have to skip his turn again. And with Lae'zel, now finally I can get in range of the enemy. So let's run over here, use a ranged attack, and finish off that Phase Spider to complete this battle. Now everyone's pretty injured, so be careful running around down here. There are these pools of green toxin, and if you step in them, you may become poisoned, which happens to Gale, and he will succumb to that in just a moment. But for now, we're going to pick up this dark amethyst, and then as soon as we grab that, Gale does fall down, but we can pick him right back up. You can see that Lae'zel wants to talk to us. She, at this point, wants to romance us, but because we are romancing Karlach, we're not going to do it, so I'm just going to say I'm flattered, but the answer is no, so that way we do not break any sort of romance with Karlach. So now that that's done, we need to get out of here. I'm going to fast travel over to the Underdark Beach area. We had a big fight against the Dwaggers here, but now we want to go to this spot so that we can get on a boat, and that will take us over into the Grymforge area. So run over here toward the west. There is a quest marker on your minimap, and when you get over here, you can use the Underdark Dwagger boat to continue on.
Wobbles on the lake's murky waters.
Sail into the darkness. We now have quite a bit of cutscenes to get through. I'll skip through most of it. Essentially, Corsair Grayman will wonder why we're out here on Gek's raft. He'll hop aboard, and then he'll start to question us. All we really have to do is to convince him that we're innocent. The best way to do this is to say, "Deception. I saw a body left by the Myconids. Your Gek must be dead." This has a skill check of 10, and we definitely want to pass this, so I would recommend saving the game. Just in case it doesn't work, you can reload right here. Let's roll it, and then we can succeed, and then keep on going. We want Corsair Grayman to like us enough that he will accompany us all the way into the Grymforge, because he sells something that we definitely want, and it's our only opportunity to get it if we go with him. If he dies out there because we fought him, we can never get the item that he sells. So let's skip through the rest of the cutscene here until we're back on shore. By talking our way through that, Astarion does get an inspiration point, and it looks like Gale is suffering from his arcane hunger once again, so we're going to give him another magic artifact, and that will calm him down. He will, however, have to go through a long explanation of everything that's going on with him, so let's go ahead and just skip through that so we can get to the end. Well, for some reason, now is when the pop-up actually shows up for that inspiration point, and what we want to do is to follow Corsair Grayman to where he is, so that we can shop with him and then get what he sells, and it's going to be a really nice new bow for us. So let's go all the way toward the south. We're going to then turn left and go around these stairs, and we're going to keep going around over toward the right side. He is actually set up as a shopkeeper over on the right hand side. You can see it up on your mini map there. The little pouch icon shows that he is a shopkeeper, and we can talk to him so that we can start to barter with him. We do have a lot of things that we don't need anymore, so we can trade him a lot of stuff and get what we want, which is going to be the bow of the Banshee. Being able to inflict frightened on enemies is very powerful, especially if we can do it with a bow from a distance, and we can also pick up a supply pack from him if you really want to. So go ahead and get the stuff you need, sell off the stuff you don't need anymore, and then we'll keep on going.
Come back anytime.
Well, now's a good time to equip that bow of the Banshee. I'm going to put it onto Astarion, and that will make him pretty powerful. It is an upgrade both to his damage and his ability to inflict status ailments like frightened on enemies. Now that that's done, you can see that my character's health is pretty low, and Gale is also low on his spell slots. So I want to head back to camp. I'm going to do a long rest so that I can completely refresh all of my characters, and that will set us up nicely for the next part. I am going to actually be ending the episode here. It's a little bit shorter than the other ones that I've been making, but I really wanted to focus on the Spider Matriarch and getting to the Grymforge. In the next part, we're going to be going and taking care of the Hag and saving Mayrina. That's something that I did not do in my previous walkthrough, so I'm excited to show that to you. And there's also a little bit of a secret that you can do while going through that side quest to get a permanent +1 bonus to one of your characters. So be sure to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that already so that you will not miss out on that part. It's going to be great. So I'll see you soon for part 9. Thanks so much for watching and have a good day.